before we get going, I just wanted you to see this shirt real quick. Because it's from Ben Bruno, who we always make jokes about. So it says you don't have to train today. The world needs mediocre people too.
God, if that's not the most inspiring thing you've ever heard.
You know, Ben's pure inspiration, that guy. Okay, quickly just running through things. Today we've got our yoga sequence stuff. We back-to-back that with our 4x4 for 4 minutes. We throw some cardio or some core into the back end of what we're doing. You need 2 moderate weights. And you need a heavy weight today as an option through here. Cool. Well, let's do this. Let's stand up. Let's get ourselves working out. We're going to start out with doing our greatest stretch in the world. We're going to do 2 turns with it. So we got a big step going back first. We're going to open out to the forward leg side first. And then we switch the hands open to the second side as well. And then we'll stand up through that heel nice and tall and do a nice switch as well. So take your time. Sink your hips to the floor to create a bigger, better stretch along the way. All right, stand up tall. We'll go 2 more here. Taking your time, big openings, good balance as well. I stand. Let's switch it once more here. All right, we'll stand up. Second up, we're going to take our feet real wide. We're going to keep our hands together. And as we go to one side, we're going to hinge back, but we're going to get the top half to center in between the feet. Then we come back up. We're going to pull those elbows out and then bring them back together as we lower. Okay, open, pin those shoulders behind you at the top. Bow down, push up through that heel, and continue. Inhale down, exhale up. We'll go 2 more. And we'll call it last one. All right, last of our standing warm-ups. We're gonna hug a knee in with one hand, other arm, gonna reach up nice and high. Then we drop slowly and we switch smoothly. Nice reach, nice hugging in, and switching. So think about that hand really going straight up at the top. Let's see if you can even feel that back shoulder blade a little bit at the top of that reach. Of course, we got some balance, so you can fixate your eyes on one point. You can even tighten your belly. Good assistance for that balance. All right, from here, we're gonna go down to the floor. We're gonna do a little bit of our wrist warming up. So join us on the floor, and you're gonna have your palms down, but your fingers pointed towards you. Hands and knees, fingers pointed towards you, palms down. We're gonna start by child's posing, sitting back, and then coming back up. Now, you don't need to go back a ton, especially if you feel a lot of tension in those wrists already. If you feel a lot of tension for any of these movements, the way to lighten it up is to walk your feet closer towards your hands. That will really minimize how much tension is there. Next up, we're going to have our shoulders going circles around our hands. One direction, about 3 or 4 circles around the hands. Same thing, if you need to lighten it up, just walk those knees a little bit forward. Let's reverse our circle now. All right, we'll go 1 more. And then from here is kind of our deep stretch. We're going to go tops of the hands down to the floor with our fingers still pointed at us. If your knees haven't walked forward, now is definitely the time to do that. We're going to still work on sitting back, but probably not as far, and then coming back up. So sitting back a little bit, and then shoulders over hands. We'll do 1 more here. All right, now we're gonna readjust. We're gonna kind of shake our wrists out for a second. We're gonna put the hands back onto the floor and move our knees back to being directly under our hips. Our right arm is gonna reach under and across to our left side. And then we're gonna open that right arm, stacking hand on shoulders, bringing down, switching over. Nice big reach, press the chest to the floor, and then open. And switch. There you go, kind of work through your own timing. We'll go last 2 on our end here. After this, we'll go onto our back. And last one. All right, from here, Jackson and I are going onto our backs. We're gonna have our feet onto the floor. We're gonna do a hip press, and our top arm is gonna reach up and overhead. So first up, hip press, second up, arm reaching overhead, corner shoulder, and then a switch. Hips, followed by that reach, coming back down. All right, let's go last 2 hip presses. And last one. All right, so from here we are officially warm. You can high five somebody random around you if you'd like to. Second up, we've got our yoga sequence of the week that we're gonna go over. So Jackson and I will do that first with you guys. And there's a reason why we've spent our first 2 times kind of going over some basics. Today is Chattaranga, a foundational piece of yoga, just like as is your Warrior 1, 2, and 3. So for our Chattaranga, what we're gonna do is start in a high plank position. Hands under shoulders, and with the high plank, I want you to, here's my regular plank. Jackson and I are gonna press a little higher away from the floor to create that high plank. Now from here, Chattaranga, you bend your elbows lower down, body comes all the way to the floor, and then we're gonna lift our chest, pull our shoulder blades back and down. This is our low Cobra. And now from here, fold back to downward dog, your hips arch back. We're gonna do 2 leg lifts. We're gonna lift one up, smoothly come back down. Then our second one going up, smoothly coming down, and we bend our knees and rest to child's pose for our sequence. So let me get my clock going. We're gonna practice that. Our first practice is gonna be 90 seconds in time. Let's get into that good high plank position as our starter. Okay, once again, plank and a little further from the floor. 2, 1, we're here. Now we bend our elbows, lowering the body to the floor. Now we lift up, upper body from the floor, shoulders down, chin up, and we press back, arching the hips up for our downward dog. We're gonna find it here for a few minutes. Press your chest through your shoulders towards your feet. One leg comes up, comes back down. Second leg comes up, comes back down. Bend your knees, child's pose. Find one good breath in, and then lift back up, high plank. Lower down, bending the elbows, body to the floor. Lift the upper half. Exhale, press back, arch those hips up. One leg up. Control it down, next leg up. All right, and then bend those knees to the floor, hinge back. Got 30 seconds. Come forward, high plank. Bend those elbows to the floor slowly. Now lift that top half. Press back to that downward dog. Arch the hips up. Press the chest between the shoulders. One leg up. Next leg up. And bend those knees, child's pose. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Now we're going to stay on the floor for our cardio movement second here. Cardio movement is this: straight leg, bicycle kick, a classic, a favorite, a foundational. As it's a cardio movement, I'm going to ask you to pick up your speed as we go along. So first off, we have those legs straight. We go opposite elbow to opposite knee, and we're going a very slow crunch in the beginning. And then we're going to pick up speed as time goes on. It's 30 total seconds, and we'll get started in a little less than 10. So let's get into position. We're on our back, we've got hands behind us, we got legs up. We start in 3, in 2, let's begin. Slow, with that good low back press. Good rotations. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. Find that quick breathing, just like Jackson and I are. And last little bit, little faster, 10 seconds to the finish. We'll go finish dip in 3, in 2, in 1. All right, good. So that's our second move, that's our cardio. Last up is our 4x4 for 4 minutes. So let's practice this. We're gonna need our weights at this point. 2 moderate weights or a heavy weight, or even 2 heavy weights. Good ideas for any of them. First up, stepping side squat. We've got our weights up in front. We're gonna have our feet together. We're gonna step laterally to one side, do a squat, come back together with the feet, and switch to the second side. Rep counts are 4 total, so we're doing 2 on each side. Second movement, we've got a combination. We're doing a deadlift, we're doing a row. Weights stay in front of the legs, shoulders stay back and down. We create that hinge, a row at the bottom, and then we come back up nice and tall with that hip thrust. Coming down, do that row, come back up. Following 2 movements, we remove the weight, we come down to the floor on our side. We're gonna do a side lying reach, a classic movement, where we're gonna put a roll into it today. Top arms overhead, we're gonna lift up, meet the foot, we're gonna extend out, and now we're gonna roll to our second side and repeat. Lift up, control down, roll over to that side. Once again, 4 total reps, so we're only doing 2 on each side before we move into that final movement. Final movement of the day is a plank position, and we're gonna do a corner heel lift with our plank. We're not going straight up, we're not going to the side, we're going to the corner as we lift up each of those. 4 total of those heel lifts, and then we hit the repeat button as many times as we can within 4 minutes, working through those 4 exercises. We'll coach you through it. I need you to grab your weights, have them up in front of you, feet together, and we start with our stepping side squat. In 2, in 1. Step it out and squat. Come back together, switch. Got 2 more, 4 reps before you do deadlifts and rows. From here, deadlifts and rows, weights in front. Hinge down, give me a row, then come back up. Hinge down, give me a row, come back up. Got 4 of these. After this, we're gonna go to the floor. We're removing the weights. We lie down our side. Top arm is overhead, legs are outstretched. We're gonna come up, meet, and as we come down, let's do a roll. Up and meet. Then smooth roll, 4 total. And after this, plank position, corner heel lifts. All right, we flip it around, we go plank position. Smooth, with 1 foot up at a time, feeling our glute as we lift, and controlling, coming back down. You finish that 4, then you stand up, you grab those weights, and you go to that stepping side squat again. Weights up in front, feet together. Give me 4 reps. If you're feeling good, you're welcome to push pace over time. Deadlift to row. 4 reps before you go back to your side and do those reaches with the rolls. Okay, remove the weights for the reaches and the rolls. Come down to the floor on your side. Reach on up. Come down and roll. Reach on up, come down and roll. After this, it's plank with those corner heel lifts before you repeat. Okay, switch it. 4 reps, heel lifts from that plank position. Now Jackson's showing you on the elbows. I like that a little bit better on this one. Helps you engage your lats more. Let's come on up, grab those weights, hit that repeat button. We are more than halfway through this, less than 2 minutes. Good, push up through those heels. 1 proper squat with each. Then deadlifts and rows. Followed by going to the floor and doing those side reaches with those rolls. All right, let's cruise down to the floor. Weights go down. Top arm overhead. Reaching up. Coming down. Rotating. And then plank heel lifts, got 4 of these. Give me control. I want slow heel lifts with these, please. Come on back up, grab those weights. We're in that final one, less than a minute to go. See if you can get through 1 more round right here. 4 of those side steps. Holding those weights up, right? When those weights are elevated, when those elbows are elevated, we're working harder. Deadlifts to rows to follow. Shoulders stay down. And Jackson, as he hinges down, is going to push his butt backwards to make bigger stretches happen through those hamstrings and to force his back to have to turn on a little bit extra. Control and activate more. After this, we go to the floor, we put the weights to the side. 20 seconds left. Nice big reach. Control and roll. 10 seconds. Plank to corner heel lifts, finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Ding, da ding, ding, ding.
All right.
That is the first round of what we're doing. Now we got 2 more to follow, and you'll notice my clock is still ticking over here. We've got less than 20 seconds. In fact, we've got 15 seconds, and we do it all again. We're gonna start with our yoga sequence, our Chattaranga to that low Cobra into downward dog. Get into your plank. We start in 3, in 2, in 1. High plank, and we lower to the floor. Then we're gonna lift the chin, pull the shoulders back and down. Now we're gonna press back, arching those hips up. 1 leg up. 2nd leg up. And then bend the knees, sit back, find a breath, and lift again. High plank, smooth coming down. Upper body lifts, shoulders pull back and down. Press it on back. Lift a leg up. Switch, keep pressing that body through the shoulders. Bend those knees, hinge it back. 1 breath on the floor. And lift, high plank. Smooth Chaturanga down. Chin up, shoulders down. And press it on back. Bend those knees and rest. Keep on moving through it. You can get at least 1 more sequence. We've got about 20 seconds remaining. Taking your time. Jackson does a great job of really arching up high in that low Cobra. If you got that ability, great. If that challenges your low back, don't be afraid to just kind of make it real small. Nearly done. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Now we turn onto our back and our cardio is next. This turns into our straight leg bicycle kick. Once again, we start slow and we build as we go. Beginning in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's go. Slow, big kicks, smooth rotations with low back press. Little faster now. Little faster, last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Come on up, grab your weights. It is 4x4 time. Stepping side squats is where we'll get started. Weights are up in front, feet are together. Beginning in 3, in 2, step it out, squat down. Bring it up, switch it up. 4 reps each side. Or 4 reps total, excuse me. Then deadlifts and rows. Weights in front. Hinge it down. Good row. Good lift. We're going to keep those back shoulders down. We're going to keep that belly tight. And last up, you're pushing your butt backwards as you hinge here. Make that a bigger stretch. Remove the weights. Come to the floor. Side body reach with side body rolls. Up we go. Smooth and roll. Ooh. Then plank position, 4 corner heel lifts before you repeat to that stepping side squat standing. All right, bring it up, grab those weights. If you're feeling good, maybe you add a little bit of weight to what we're doing. Feet are together, knock out 4 reps. Try to squat equally between both feet. Deadlifts, rows. Then we hit the floor and do those rolls. Tummy tight, push those hips back. One more, then we take it to the floor. All right, find your movement pattern, find your movement pace. After we're done with this, it's those planks and heel lifts. Planks and heel lifts for us. Then it's that repeat button again. Folks, you are halfway through. 2 minutes. I want your plank heel lifts to be very slow. All right, bring it on up. Less than 2 minutes. Should get through 2 more rounds here. If you're feeling good, push your pace a little bit. We know what we're doing. Challenge what we're doing. Weights in front, hinge it, row it. Come up, squeeze your butt at the top of those. Working through smooth on the floor, please. Everything slows down when we hit the floor. Okay, we're in final minute. Final minute. Find those lats in your plank hold. Think still body. All right, 45 seconds is remaining. Keep cycling through, folks, about 30. Push those hips back during that deadlift. We got 20 seconds remaining. Doing good, folks. Last 10, last few repetitions of wherever you're at. And we're gonna go finish up in 3, in 2, in 1. Ding, ding, ding. You got 30 seconds to recover before one more time. Make no mistake about it. This is the meat and potatoes of the workout right now. You are in it. You're in it to win it. No mediocre people here on this call today.
Not on this call.
All right, 10 seconds. We're starting Chattaranga, high plank, and we work our way down to that low Cobra. Let's get to it. Starting in 3, in 2, high plank, lower smoothly down, all the way. Then bring the chin up, shoulders down, and then press on back, arching those hips high, pushing your body between those shoulders. One leg comes up, smooth coming down. Next leg goes up, smooth coming down. Bend those knees, sit back, reach out, and raise back up, and repeat. Find those leg lifts as a part of that downward dog. Find a hamstring stretch. The back of your leg should be feeling a little stretch in a downward dog. Bend those knees, sit back. Child's pose is the finish. Come on back up. Work through it, piece by piece. Hold that downward dog for an extra second or two. Then it's leg lift time. All right, down to the floor, child's pose. And lift again. We got 20 seconds, folks. Let's see if we can make it through one more progression, one more round, one more sequence. Arch those hips up high with the downward dog. Last few, we finish in 3, in 2, in 1. Next up, we go onto our back, and it's cardio. It's gonna be that straight leg scissor kick. First 10 seconds, nice and slow. Hands behind your head, legs scissor kicking in 3, in 2, in 1. So slow as we begin. Now, if your back starts to bug you, you can bend your knees more. You can use this as an option. Okay, now just a little bit faster. Still feel that low back. Still feel those abs turning. Little faster, last 10. 3, 2, 1. That's good. Stand up, grab your weights. 4x4, 4-4. How many times can I say 4 in one sentence? I think that's 6 times.
You wrote it.
Hands together, or feet together, hands close together. 3, 2, side step squat. Knock out 4 total. Because it's good for you. And they gotta, the punny jokes are coming. Deadlifts and rows from there. 4 deadlifts with a row at the bottom.
You're counting my 4s for me. I lost count.
You just follow me here, all right? I'll lead everything. All right, then we put the weights down, move to the side, find that reach up above, and find the roll after. Slow on the floor. Take our 2 moves on the floor, we slow it down, we make them crisp. All right, plank position, heel lifts. After that, repeat. Slow up and down, a lot of lats through that heel lift, please. All right, bring it on up, side steps. Weights up in front, feet together, knock them out. Deadlifts, rows. After that, it's to the floor. Drive those hips backwards as you're doing that deadlift. Keep those knees out a little bit as we're doing that deadlift. To the floor we go. Top arm overhead, smooth coming up. Come up to a high point if you can. Slowly rotating. Planks and then repeat. Folks, we're at 2 minutes. You are halfway through this 4 minutes. And this is the tail end of our first round of everything. All right, coming on up, grabbing those weights. Side stepping squats. Knock them out. Once again, you're feeling good. You can push tempo. Use those heels up and down through your squats, please. You skipping one on that?
I think you did 5.
It's very possible.
I'm going to go with that.
I've been well known to be a horrible counter.
That's why it's on you.
I think anyone at the other end of this line would attest to my poor counting capabilities at any point in time. All right, folks, it's final minute. Final minute. There we go. Bring it up. Grab those weights. Keep on moving. Keep your breathing, right? Where is your out? Where is your in with your breath? Keep your tummy tight with good deadlifts. Keep pushing those hips back with a good deadlift as well. Okay, last 20 seconds. Last 20 seconds when you hit the floor, everything slows down. The smoothness increases. There it is. 10 seconds remaining. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We have done it. We have climbed the proverbial mountains of the 4-minute peaks.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about you all, but we're getting a little misty around here.
That was a great effect.
That's a lot of mist.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone can actually see
We bumped
that,
the technology up. We got CGI and everything now.
Yeah, and I sweat in puddles sometimes. I certainly don't spill water around the house, that's for sure. Okay, got it out? Run is out? All right, let's get to it. More core. What do we need?
More core.
That's right. So we're going to go over 3 movements. They're 40 seconds apiece. We're going to start on our back. We're going to lie down on our puddles. We're going to have our feet up, hands down into the floor. Legs go wide and back together. So abduction, adduction are just out and together with your feet. If your low back needs it, you bring your feet a little bit higher. You can also bend your knees as ways to lighten up resistance on the low back as we go through there. So that's number 1. Number 2, rotating plank. So we face the floor, basic plank position, although this time being on the hands a little bit better. Feet are wide, rotate and open to one side, come back to that center point, switch it over to the second side. All right, good. So those are our first 2. Our final movement, we go hands and knees. It's a bird dog and a 1 pulse. So we're gonna open up, then we're gonna do 1 pulse, come back down and switch. Open, 1 pulse, back down and switch. So those are our 3 more core movements. Now, we don't take breaks in between them, so you've got 9 movements in a row, I think it's 15 seconds apiece in between each, but our timing per movement, 40 seconds. So you've got some core coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're ready. Hope you're tired of hearing me talk, because it's time to get moving again. We're gonna be on our back, we're gonna have our hands into the floor, feet up into the air, out, wide, and together. In 2, in 1, out, and together. Now, like always, we're doing core work. What do I stress to you guys? The control element. Take it slow. Show me that you've got control all the way through your move. And if you need to, you can bend your knees. You could lighten this up a little bit. You could also bring your feet up higher as ways to make this just a little bit more manageable. And we got ourselves about 10 seconds here. Then we're going to turn around and hit our rotating planks next. Go finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's turn it around, facing the floor, rotating planks. With this, we do want our feet to be wider, and we do want our heels to go all the way to the floor with each turn. Let's get set up. We get started in 3, in 2, rotate, open, control coming down, switch it over. Now, if your hands are starting to have enough of this, you can do this one from the elbows. Very doable. You can still work through the elbows and give those wrists an opportunity for a little recovery. Okay, if you hit a roadblock, take a little breather for a moment. You can just bend your knees for a few seconds, and then you can come back up and keep working with us. We got 10 seconds on this one. Then we're gonna finish in our bird dog position. We'll finish on hands and knees here. 3, 2, and 1. Let's come down to hands and knees. Hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. We're gonna reach out, hold it, do 1 pulse, and then come back down. Beginning in 3, in 2, reach out, 1 pulse, back down and switch. Reach out, 1 pulse, down smoothly, switch. There we go. So with that pulse ID, shoulder and glute, with that lift, everyone's doing great. We've got about 10 seconds remaining through these. And remember, we're gonna go straight onto our back next and repeat our 3 movements again. Finished in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's turn around, let's go onto our backs. All right, core, is it working?
It's working.
Okay, that's good. Otherwise we might need more. All right, feet up, out and together. In 2, in 1. Out wide, back together. Now, Jackson doesn't have kind of those low back issues, so he's lowering his feet, which still lifts his low back from the floor. But if that doesn't cause his low back pain, then that's okay. So I do want to emphasize that if your low back doesn't hurt by having your legs down lower, practice doing that. If your low back does start to tell you that, then you're going to lift your legs higher or you're going to bend your knees a little bit more. Got less than 10 seconds, and then we're going to turn around for that rotating plank. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's flip it around. Let's go rotating plank. We're going to have those feet a little extra wide. And once again, heels turn all the way to the floor on each turn. Beginning in 3, in 2. Let's go. There we go. Keep those hips up, especially when you get to that good side plank point. Elbows or breaks, okay to take along the way as well. 15 seconds. Last few, then we go hands and knees for that bird dog. 3, 2, and rest. Yeah. Last up, we're going to reposition those hands right under the shoulders and make sure those knees right under the hips. 1 lift, then a pulse. We get started in 3, in 2, in 1. 1 lift, 1 pulse, then a switch at the bottom. Now, if you're feeling off balance when you do this, I want you to push your hand into the floor a little bit extra. Create some extra leverage, but also some extra activity from that floor and in through the body. Last few, everybody. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's turn it around one last time. We are on our back. Last round of our 3 movements. All right, legs out and together, beginning in 3, in 2, in 1. Little low back pressure still, right? Don't let that area go neglected. Find your breath in and your breath out points through this exercise. 15 seconds. Last few. Finished up in 3, in 2, in 1. We go rotating plank next. The last 2 movements, folks. Stay with me. This is the end of the workout, so the best finish you can get when we're here at that finish line. Feet wide, start in 3, in 2, let's go. Work smooth rotations, work on keeping those hips lifted. Steady breathing, find your in, find your out. 15 seconds. After this, it's bird dog for the finish. Finish up in 3, in 2, and rest. Last movement, Shake those wrists out if they need it. Hands under those shoulders, knees under those hips. 1 bird dog, 1 pulse, and then we switch it. Beginning in 3, in 2, let's reach out. Let's do our pulse. Bring it down, smooth switch. Eyes should be looking down at your mat. Eyes should be looking down at the fingertips on the floor. Good focus, good finish. You got 10 seconds left, everybody. Last few. 3, 2, and ding, 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 ding. Call it a workout. Woo! Only thing you got to do now is just stretch.
Oh, good.
Nice job, everybody.
Woo.
If you got a towel around, great. You can use it. If not, no big deal. You can just do this sans towel very easily as well. we're going to start you on your back. We're going to go through our trio of hamstring stretches. Time to chill out, folks. Time for me to chit-chat a little bit too and talk about something that brought up to me recently, grounding. Grounding. It's not for your children. Well, it could be for your children, but it's not stuffing your children in a room and telling them they can't come out. All right. So Jackson's got his straight leg. Other leg, knee can be bent or leg can be flat to make that a little bit of a bigger stretch. Depends on what you're feeling, what feels good to you. While Jackson's stretching and while you all are, I'm going to introduce you, or maybe reintroduce you, to grounding. Grounding, also referred to as earthing. We're going to take that leg a little across the body, maybe a foot in the opposite direction from here. No pun intended. Earthing, a therapeutic technique that involves doing activities with the ground, the bare ground, the outside ground, to electrically reconnect you to the earth. So Jackson kind of made a little light of this. We're going to bring the leg to the outside now. Kind of the legs going out to the side. If he needs to, he's going to bend that elbow and use that as a little bolster to help him through there. Jackson was saying, oh, so this is like a little woo-woo. And I was like, yeah, it is a little woo-woo. Yeah, that's fair. The practice is really discussing how there's an electrical charge throughout the earth and the universe overall. Let's go ahead and switch to our second leg through here. And so this is part of like a reconnectivity to the earth, but they are also saying that these electrical charges that are within our body oftentimes do not have the ability to kind of move around the world around us. They're stopped by having things like plastic soles on our shoes, or that the things that it kind of are those in-between markers for where our skin would actually be in touch with the earth. We'll bring that leg a little across up next. So one central theory is that the grounding effects are within a living matrix in which the center connector, in which this is the center connector of all living things, this living matrix is. And electrical conductivity exists within the matrix that functions as an immune system defense similar to antioxidants. This is the whole premise of everything. Let's take the leg out to the outside. So essentially, you're reconnecting back into the earth, and this is having a response of boosting your immunity, your immune system, and in a similar fashion to what antioxidants do for us, which is kind of squashing of free radicals, minimizing cell destruction. Let's go ahead and drop the leg down through here. All right, and then into our next stretch, we're going to stay on our back, removing the towel, and your figure 4 is here. So you're going to put one foot on the opposite knee, and whatever knee that foot is on, you're going to hug that knee in towards your chest, towards your upper body. And try to rest the head, neck, and shoulders as you do this. And if Jackson wants to make this a bigger stretch at all, this bent knee side, he can push his hand and push that knee away from his body, and that will increase a little bit more of that IT band stretch into what we're doing. So really, there's not a lot of science on this yet. There has been some science, and the science that has been looking at this is showing some cool correlations for boosting our immune system in a kind of a variety of ways. One of those being cardiovascular health. Let's go ahead and switch to our opposite side through here. And so in one study, they were taking measurements of red blood cell fluidity, which plays a huge role in our overall heart health. And when they attached kind of these electrodes into the palms and the soles of people's feet, over time, this was the grounding effect, and we're going to go over different types of grounding. These red blood cells clumped less after grounding, which suggests improved cardiovascular health. Also, another study done on post-exercise muscle damage or muscle recovery. They use these same patches and these mats that we're going to discuss here shortly to help the grounding effect. And they measured increases in creatine response in the body, white blood cell count, and pain levels before and after grounding going down. Let's go ahead and drop the foot completely. We're going to go on to our side next. This is where we get into some of our new side stretches. So Jackson's going to lie down on this side. His bottom arm is going to be straight behind him. So if he does that, his top leg is also going to go backwards. He splits that top leg back. And then that top arm finishing by reaching backwards as well. And we got this big chest opener, and we even get some hip stretch down the front there as well. So there was some good evidence that like the healing abilities of this is improved through some smaller studies overall. Let's be a little bit honest as to like how much science we're actually dealing with early on in this process. Types of grounding. We talked about just a few right there. There is some grounding equipment that was mentioned in those studies. And those can be mats, kind of really similar to looking to this, but you plug it into a wall. Sheets, socks, patches, or pads. Let's go ahead and stay here on this side. I want that bottom arm to now reach overhead underneath him. And then with his top arm and top leg, he's going to bend the knee, bring the foot behind him. He's going to turn this into a quad stretch. So Jackson's going to squeeze his butt on his top leg to open that quad stretch more. Types of grounding beyond equipment, let's talk about the real deal. Really like the stuff that this is all based on, which is getting outside. Walking barefoot outside. That could also be walking on the beach barefoot, going into a park, lying on the ground with your skin touching the floor, or submersing in water. And Jackson earlier, he was like, well, what if I'm just lying on the floor in a house? Great question. Doesn't do it, right? You've got things between you and the earth right there. So we want you in touch with the floor. Same thing with a body of water. We don't want you going into a pool. We want you either go into an ocean or into a lake. Let's go ahead and turn and switch. We're going to do our opposite side lying down, working in those same stretches. First one, the bottom arm is behind you. Then your top leg goes back as well. And lastly, that top arm going overhead. Okay, find your breathing, find some stretching along the way. So we've got those as types of grounding, most of them pretty much outdoors, and you've got this kind of new pocket of things that are coming out that have these electrical charges that are supposed to help our immune system boost as well. The benefits, well, it's supposed to help us with things like chronic fatigue, chronic pain, anxiety or depression, sleep disorders, and that cardiovascular disease we were talking about in our first study. Now let's readjust ourselves on the floor. Bottom arm is going to go up and overhead. Okay, legs go together before that top knee is going to bend. We're going to grab the foot behind. And then in that top leg, we're squeezing the glute to activate that good quad stretch. So we got some good benefits to this. I did want to once again preface that the information, the research that's done on this right now is largely subjective. It's mostly asking people what they're feeling. Okay, so there's not huge amounts of science behind this stuff. However, the science that has been done is showing good positive correlations. And last up, as I was getting into this stuff, Deepak Chopra, kind of famous author, famous, just awesome overall kind of spiritual Eastern medicine type of guy, he was discussing this a little bit, and I felt like it was valuable. We're going to release that foot, and we're going to come to a seated, comfortable position. And I'll tell you about Deepak's last little quote here at the end. We're doing hand work. So Jackson's going to run you through it, but we're going to start by making a full fist and then opening the hands. And we're going to do that a few times. Okay, think about as we open those hands, the fingers pull back. We're kind of getting that back hand to flex. And then second up, we're doing circles in one direction. And the arms can move around a little bit with this. Okay, so let me read you Deepak's quote here, which I felt like was a good rounding of everything, but also where a little bit of the woo-woo came in. Reverse, opposite way. When you get in touch with the ground, many things happen. One is your biological rhythms, they reset. Because the earth is spinning all the time, that creates a biological rhythm that we call our circadian rhythm. Okay, last up, hands are here. We're going to go thumb in, followed by one finger reaching in towards that bottom of the palm all the way through. Circadian rhythm, really important. It's our body's natural time clock. It really has major effects on how we sleep and also our immunity. So back to Deepak. When your biological rhythms reset, inflammation goes down, negative ions come from the earth into your body and neutralize excess free radicals. So free radicals being the things that age us, that break us down, neutralizing the excess free radicals. The body is a battery, and so is the earth, and so is the whole universe, and all electromagnetic fields within it. So when elements and forces in our body are aligned with the elements and forces of the cosmos, this allows our health to be in the harmony with the world around us. That's the woo-woo stuff, but you know what? Hey, I like woo-woo stuff. I think it's got a lot I think it's got a lot of positivity and a lot of good health benefits. I'm going to let you do a little chatting. You got something to share?
Yeah. And I'd like to add, sure, Western medicine side of things hasn't done a whole lot of research into the magnetic field stuff, but to my understanding, on the Eastern medicine side of things, a magnetic deficiency is a legitimate health issue, and it can lead to all sorts of chronic issues. So these mats and mattresses and insoles and whatever you want, they boost your magnetic something. This is what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
And I'll say I did sleep on a magnetic mattress for probably around 6 or 7 months when I was a student here. I didn't know it at the time, but I will say that I was probably the most organized and like level-headed and driven I'd been in my entire student career. Now, there's a whole lot of other factors that go along with this, but I thought that was really interesting to realize that after the fact. All right, here you go.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I mean, and that's kind of the subjective end of it, but if people are getting like positive subjective results, give it a shot. See what works for you.
Yeah.
Grounding, do it. Use those bare feet.
Yeah, walk around
Outdoors.
barefoot. If you don't have any money, just walk around barefoot.
All right, good night, everybody.